to the Quiet Warrior Show, where we help top leaders find their pathway to incredible success and a lifetime of happiness. Here is your host, Tom Dutta, the Quiet Warrior.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Quiet Warrior Show. I'm all saddled up here. Do you like my new headset? I used to wear these bulky things and got these little in-ear monitors. We're trying them out. Just want to say thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to put something on the screen now. This is the time to show off the show. We've been nominated in the last year and a half, mostly because of the quality guests that have come to us and because you're the audience. And we're live streaming today. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and X. If you're there, you can post a comment. You can chat with me in studio. We'll post it and talk to the guests. However, we have been ranked some great things. By rating agencies, we're ranked the number 2 top 30 CEO podcast in the United States. We're ranked in the top leadership Canadian podcasts in Canada. And then I didn't know about Million Podcasts, but these guys, they said, Tom, you're on a list of top 100 storytelling podcasts. And that's exactly what this narrative of my show is. So very humbled that we've been recognized, and we're booked out for 3 months with a wait list to get on every week. So thank you very much for your support. Just keep liking us and subscribing so we can amplify our guest show today. More people will see it. What would it be like to, at a glance, know the deep, quick story of our guest? Well, here is the show hook, everyone. I'm sitting across from a woman who learned about love before she learned about language. Her father's hand rests on her mother's belly. He speaks to a child not yet born. He tells her she will shine, that she will make her mark. He believes in her before she has a name. And then he's gone. 3 years old, a house that feels different, silence that has weight. And yet the belief stays. And now fast forward, perfect hair, perfect smile, Singapore's elite, a modeling agency, influence, access, applause. Hello, darling. How are you? They turn away. The bitterness rises. Her body keeps the score. Assist. Emergency surgery. 26 years old, waiting to hear if it's cancer. In that sterile room, the truth whispers louder than ambition ever did. Success is not about performance. No. And later she builds the dream business, the one that looks right, feels powerful, proves something. But red flags, they're waving. She sees them. She ignores them. Optimism becomes denial. Confidence becomes a bit of ego. It collapses. And the fall strips her. And just months ago before, she stands behind her mother, Alzheimer's, already ready, taking her memory. The woman who raised 4 children alone. The woman who queued 3 days to get her daughter into the best schools before her late husband said, she's the one that shines. Watching someone forget you while you still remember them changes you. Love doesn't leave you. Life is not meant to be a struggle. However, she calls it effortless success. Not easy success, not lazy success, but success without inner war. And so tonight, from Singapore, I welcome into the Quiet Warrior arena a woman who helps leaders stop performing strength and start embodying it. Nancy Ho, welcome to the Quiet Warrior Show.
Wow. Oh, wow. What you just said just now really brought tears to my eyes. And I'm so honored to be on your show. Thank you, Tom.
Wow. That was the nicest, grateful of an opening that I've ever had. First of all, we love you. We love the parts of you. And I mean, you're such an honorable person, but I was going to just say funny and say, hey, what was it like sitting there listening to your life flash by you for just about a minute and a half?
Yeah, it's almost like, oh, really? You know how life passes you by, right? I mean, it's like, when I heard that, I said, really, that all had happened.
Totally. And then here you are, and we were just riffing off camera. And so before I take you into Plato's Garden, where we're going to have some fun together, I was just wanting to ask you publicly. So you're in Singapore.
Right.
I think you were born there. You've been there all your life. Just tell us a bit about where that place is and why you love Singapore.
Singapore is just at the equator.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? It's hot. There's no 4 seasons. There are only 2 seasons. The season is sunny or rainy. So the last few days has been raining quite a bit. So pretty good in a sense, cooling.
Yeah.
All right, but it's just even it's raining. The coolest temperature in the night would be about 25, 26.
Wow, that is warm. I know that temperature. And then it's humidity too, because you have water, right?
Humidity as well, you know. So, but I just love this sunny Singapore. I always call it heaven on earth.
Oh, I love that. Heaven on earth. And for the audience who don't know this part about me, I lived there for a year. I was telling you before I came here. So I want to go back now. I have somebody I can go spend some time with and talk to. I think that there's something, and before I go into Plato's, there's something I just thought about sun. And what do you think about this? But they say the vitamin effect, D or whatever, in the sun, it keeps you youthful. For mental health, it makes you feel good. A nice tan like me, maybe, but there's some benefits for health, I think.
For sure. I remember when I was studying in London, right?
Yeah.
I could not believe I behaved like all the Brits, right? It's like the sun comes out and then we cash out. And in Singapore, we try to go to the shade. You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, I actually welcome the sun. And I can see people that in winter and especially those countries that are really cold, they can look cold too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a mental state. It's definitely. Yeah. I mean, there are days where it's just rained like maybe 3, 4, 5 days. I feel, when's this going to stop? It's gloomy, kind of thing. But definitely the vitamin D, I believe, have an impact. That actually you feel better. You feel well.
Yeah. And there's a thing about what you said. It's true. We have people, it rains a lot in Vancouver, but we're surrounded by water. It's 4 seasons. But there are people who have seasonal disorder from not getting in. And then I lived in the UK for a year. I was born on a military base there. My dad was in the army. And not to talk about me all the time, but what was interesting is it was like very dark there. And I have friends now. Yeah. I just finished university here. And I think I like Singapore better than Vancouver when it's sunny. But anyway, let's have some fun and go into Plato's Garden. Are you ready to do that?
Sure.
So what would it be like, everyone, to go into Plato's Garden with Nancy Ho? Here we are, Plato's Garden. So Plato was an Athenian philosopher during the classical period in ancient Greece, Nancy, and apparently the founder of the Platonist school of thought and the academy, from the Greek word academia. And it was the first institution of higher learning in the Western world. So you can kind of see an image there of Plato and Aristotle. And they would do this thing. They would walk and talk. What we're going to be doing is, as you and I talk to each other, you're not going to know this, but I'm going to weave the conversation through 3 context areas. These are the things that influence your life. The first area is macro. So what was happening in the global world around Nancy from early days right through that influenced your public work. Number 2 would be mezzo, what was happening in the sector where you do your public work that influenced you. And 3 would be micro, my favorite, which is what was happening with your personal life that influenced. And so, Nancy, I'll take that off the screen, but what this is critical thinking, as you know, and you do so well. And if the audience can hear all these bits of all those areas, they can mesh it together and then find a deeper meaning in your story. So let me throw something out to get us talking. I'll go into micro first. I'll call this theme the inner self. So when your father spoke belief over you before you were born, how did that early imprint shape the way you see yourself today?
Absolutely. Of course, first, right, is energetically, right? I was not even born. I was not even born, so you got to be the energy.
Yeah,
Got to be, right? Can't be anything else.
that's
Then
right.
after that, when I was born, all right, again, it was first energetic still because, right, as we know, right, the very young child or that baby is instinctual. You picked
Ah,
up that. So the energy is always for me like, dad is my hero. I
yeah.
mean, he's a big guy. Of course, you got to be a big. He is a big guy, and I'm like tiny, right? So,
What
so
was his what's his name? Is he still with you, or is he no longer?
he's no
Yeah.
longer. Last time I
What
was in 3 years.
what was his name?
Ho Gong Wei.
Okay,
It's a
so
nice name.
you can say it better than me, but we'll honor him as part of the show. So, like when you were in your mom's womb, were you like kicking and moving around and so energetic, or was it more you were just?
Of course, all this being told to me, I was not born yet. But what's
Yeah.
interesting is that at the time that my mom had me in her womb, they had the best relationship, the best of the best relationship. My parents, my mom and
Yeah.
my dad. Okay, because
Nice.
my mom is a feisty woman. She's, I got the energy from her too, but she's very feisty.
Yeah.
Whereas my dad was an accountant, and then he was like more demure and structured,
Yeah.
and sort of very organized person, but introverted, right? So
Yeah.
they had the best relationship, and also in terms of his job, he also had the best jobs. He has the best opportunities and all that. So
Yeah.
I suppose again the energy is also positive. Now this you got to hear so much so that my name, my Chinese name, it took me 40 years to accept it because it sounded like, my God, it's not cool. Yes, it's not cool. All right. Especially I call it elite school. I mean, I really
Yeah.
went to elite school. And then when they in Mandarin Chinese class, when they call out my Chinese name, I like, said, excuse me, isn't that your name? I said, oh no, my name is my name is Nancy Ho, translated in Chinese instead of my Chinese name, right? So anyway, my Chinese name stands for double happiness.
Oh my goodness, that's
So think about
remarkable.
the words. Yeah, think about that influence, that double happiness. That's
Oh
it.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can if you can quantify happiness, I'd like to have double happiness. I'm curious, when they named you, was it before you were born?
Yeah. I mean,
So
prior
they
to I
must.
was
So do you think they had a sixth sense, or they just felt the emotion of you? Like you said, you might have been very, like I think somebody was telling me that you can feel the baby's movement and maybe sense.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Like I
remarkable.
said, because their relationship was the best,
Yeah,
money was good, everything was just so positive and so positive and so positive, right? So that was their name, double happiness, right? It really took me 40 years to accept it because it's like, not cool. It's not cool.
well, I think the audience will agree with me. We can feel the energy from you. It's quite something. You remind me of somebody I know very dearly who they called her Anna Banana, and she worked at a bank, and she would sit in her office on the phone or talking, and people would hear her and say, "Have you heard her? She's always laughing, bubbly, and happy." But when she walked in a room, she brought energy, and that reminds me of you right now. So I'm just going to riff on this. So we know your dad was an accountant. He had the best jobs. I think you told us your mom was feisty, and I can see how our children now can shape us. So that's an interesting thing. Before I move to the next question, would you say that some of the resilience in you, who do you think shaped you the most with your resilience? Because you've overcome quite a bit in your life. Or was it
Resilience was
both? Hmm?
about mom.
Mom.
Resilience was from mom. I mean, think about it. She was a widow at 36 with 4
Yeah.
children. And that in the 60s, life was tough in Singapore.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really tough, right? Really, really tough. So definitely from mom. So love is from dad, all right?
Ah,
That
nice.
unconditional love. I get pissed off on a regular basis. What to do? I mean, what to do? You know what I mean? The world, yeah, okay. But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all I can do. That's all I can do. Piss, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't go further than that.
Yeah.
I have no resentment. I just get pissed, and after that, I'm done. I'm done. It's like it doesn't even have a scratch on my skin, kind of thing. So of course, I've been through a lot, and then it's like watching mom.
Yeah.
Not she worked hard. She, of course, at that time when I was young, I didn't have that mentor capability to understand
Yeah.
that she actually parented me with accountability and responsibility. Yeah, because at that time, all she could say is like, "Hey, I've got no time for you." Of course, she doesn't mean it in a bad way, but she really doesn't have time for the lovey-dovey. All right. But then, of course, I've never been deprived. She gave everything that she could give us, not served on a platter, but the essential and a little bit more, and the rest, go earn it.
Yeah, those are great values. And I think when you're saying that, as you say things, I think about things. That's why we do this. I think about it all. There's children who grow up and they don't have both parents, right? So they're abandoned or there's divorce and things. And and up until the brain matures age 25, the frontal lobe, they're not rationalizing. So they're not, they're at a loss. And so I think I'm learning a lot from you that the influence your parents had on you was a gift. It seems to me like you're taking that gift in the world to be helping other people, which is cool. So let me put this out there. You describe success as performance in your 20s. This is what I researched. What was the moment you realized that you were living a role instead of your truth?
As I said, right, mom taught responsibility and accountability.
Yeah.
So results is everything.
Yeah.
Right. So therefore, the performance. Of course, she doesn't go like, you must be so academic. But what she meant is how you're going to show up in the world is all up to you.
Yes.
Literally, you're going to be successful or a complete bomb and a failure. Your choice. I mean, that's what I mean by accountability. She doesn't go like, oh, no, don't do this. Be careful. No. I mean, even there's this big story. I first grew up in this shop house. All right, it's a shop house, so it's like 3-story or something like that. So shop house. I mean, of course, if we have kept that shop house, I'd be like absolutely wealthy. Because now worth a lot, right? But
we all have those regrets of the things that should have been. I have one too.
Yeah. So anyway, God knows why there was this hole in the stairs. There was this hole, and they never meant it for whatever reason. And I actually dropped through the hole.
Really?
I just dropped through the hole and I just rolled down. What did mom do? Right? Of course, I cried. And she, anything broken? Doesn't look like it. It's okay. Get up. Go.
It's like it reminds you almost like the war story where that's the hiding place because the Germans or somebody are coming. But isn't that too true? And again, something I want to compliment you on is you said that you don't hold on to things. And some of the work I do with personality science, I've learned there's people who are like that, and they personality types, they live in the moment. They can't hold on to things. And I think also because you went through some serious illness issues too, right? I just want to share this with you. I had the lady on my show a long time ago, and her daughter had cancer. So she wrote a book called Alongside, and I read the book. And when I got on the line with her like this, I said, I can't believe it. Your daughter didn't have cancer. Because in the book, Nancy, the 9-year-old daughter was acting like you, positive, Mom, I'm okay. She didn't stay and hold on to it. So she lived a long, long, long time. And so I think you're teaching us something there. How about this?
Yeah.
You said your optimism once became denial. How does a high achiever know when confidence has crossed into ego?
So as I mentioned earlier on, right? So everything was so-called the performance, the results, right? That worked in a sense. That worked. I had success as early as like 25. I mean, thank you. All right. Thank you, universe. that happened. And that's great. All right. In terms of the so-called success. But
why don't you just fill in the blank there for the audience? What was that success? I think I know, but you said you had success. Just describe that. What was it? The business, etc.
Yeah, success I'm 62, right? I'm look this good. It's not ego, it's self-pride.
No, I don't have to say it. I mean, you're vibrant and you look good.
Right? So can you imagine at 25, right? So yeah. I have all the connections. I hang out with the who's because at that time I was running a modeling agency. Right? So-called the looks, and I can talk, and I have people, the connection, the network, and everything else, let alone the money and everything else. But I'm not exactly happy. I'm not miserable, but somehow something inside is like, okay, all this great, but in fact, like I said, often I get pissed off. I don't get like angry and hold on to it, but still on a regular basis is like, I'm just always short, And I said, that's not the kind of life I want. I'm supposed to be a happy person, right? Double happiness. Not saying not double, double happiness, why am I like, more pissed off?
I was having some fun in my mind. You're double happy, but your temper made everybody -1 happy. Like take away their happiness.
And at that time, all right, who's to say I'm wrong? Who's to say I'm wrong, right? I mean, that's ego. At the time, definitely it was big fat ego, right? Because I had it all, so-called. But then when we can lie to ourselves when we are alone by ourselves.
Sure.
Right? We can put down the pretense and the facade and what have you, but by yourself, you can't lie to yourself, right? So like I said, I'm not miserable, but then I'm short and, I'm going like, not authentic yet. That would be the word, right? I could say, hello. I turn my back. Whatever, So I said, no, that's not the person I want to be. And especially that health scare, right? Like I said, at the expense of. So surely my success, everything else is at the expense of my health. All right. I had a cyst in my womb. At the time, it's not so advanced. They cannot tell whether it's cancerous or not. They said, okay, we have to do the op. And in the midst of the op, it doesn't look good. And meaning your womb doesn't look good in that sense, right? We have to even the entire womb. Now, at that age, in late 20s, you don't want to hear stuff like that. And I went to a denier. I went to complete denier. I mean, it's like, is that called cocky? I looked at the gynae. I said, no, you make a mistake.
Oh my God.
You make a mistake. It can be. Because I don't have a pimple on my face as a teenager. All right. I can't possibly have that. So I was like crazy. I mean, absolutely mad. All right. So I just went home and I said, no. That's why it's called denial, right? No, it's a mistake. People make mistakes anyway. They make mistakes. We are read enough to know that all these professionals can make mistakes. Really, I mean, cocky, stupid, silly, whatever you call it. And it went on for 2 years. Wow. 2 years. Then, for whatever reason, perhaps God connected with me. Wake up, kid. Stop denying, Then I got like, oh, better go and do another checkup. Okay, by then you have grew so huge.
So Nancy, if I can just riff back with you. So when you were diagnosed, you were in denial. I get that. But you didn't start any treatment because of that. And then cancer enlarged and oh my goodness. So carry on. Just the
cyst just went so huge. Wow. It's like the biggest abalone you can find in this whole world. And then they realized there's a second one that's growing. I mean,
oh my goodness. Yeah,
exactly. So of course, then I can't deny anymore.
Was it a painful thing, or did you just? Was it pain with that?
It's not painful, but definitely it didn't sit well.
Oh, it's got to affect. It's got to affect the other systems in your body. You must know there's something.
Correct. I just knew there's something not right. So okay, thank goodness I went for the op and it wasn't cancerous. So that I wake up call.
I see.
That success is not performance.
So it would have been about 28 years old about that point, right? When you had the cyst removed. Well, first of all, thank God that it wasn't cancerous. And I just want to tell you something I heard you say, which made me think and reflect that there's a lot of people who don't accept facts. And I think it's also part of that ultimate optimism. And if I jump into the corporate sector where my background is, because I came from being in industry as a CEO a long time ago, some of us are held accountable, but we don't accept facts easy either. And so that sometimes that takes down companies or it gets in the way. I don't think that, I just say this, that getting who you are, I think you're ultimately optimistic and positivity. And I think there's a percentage of people in the world who are like that. Let me put this out there now about Mom. And you confided told me something before we got on mic. And so you might mention that. But watching your mom lose her memory, what did that teach you about regret and unfinished conversations, if anything?
You see, I never knew Mom until in my 20s. Like I said, she's very feisty. In fact, probably say she's fierce, right? For that young girl, oh my God, she's a tigress. Avoid her at all costs.
Yeah.
As all children, right? You definitely will have done something mischievous and all that.
Yeah.
Avoid her at all costs. And like I said, she hasn't got that bandwidth. All right, she seriously doesn't have a bandwidth, but she could only do like what's best for us in her own way. Yeah, and success also. She made it. Yeah. So anyway, so I only got to know her in my 20s, is after I came back from London. And it always been like, okay, there's Mom with respect and love, because she has done so much, she has sacrificed so much, and therefore I did what I could do.
Yeah.
So when she had, this is not funny, when she had Alzheimer, which of course, you don't realize it because the person still look normal, unlike like Parkinson or stroke or cancer. Sure. So yeah, the person looked normal, right? So when she came on the onset of Alzheimer, we all didn't know until it became more advanced, so to speak, So anyway, this is an interesting story. There's a neurologist that would refer or call me to send his patient to me when he realized that it's not a medical issue.
Yeah.
Not a medical issue. So he had sent quite a number of patients to me, his patient. So when Mom, I suspect that Mom has Alzheimer, I said, payback time.
You're hilarious, I have to say.
Payback time, okay. Okay.
Did you say that to her? And what was her reaction? Did you actually say that to your own payback time, or were you just thinking it?
I said it to the doctor.
Oh, to the doctor. Okay. And what did he say? Did he laugh, or do you want to punch you out?
I mean, a blessing that I have, but people that knows me accept me.
Yeah, exactly. That's your persona. Yeah.
I guess you know that my intention is not negative.
Of course. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah. So anyway, so I said, Mom. So we realized, we all realized, all right, that she has Alzheimer. And then when her memory started to like fade, of course, at the time, I did more than the what I did in the past. And my sister actually said to me, my elder sister is very close to me. And that really, really, really brought tears. Not brought tears, I cried like a baby. She said, you used to love Mom with money. Yeah. And now you love Mom with your heart. Wow. Correct. I didn't even realize that. Yeah. I mean, to me, that okay, Mom has sacrificed, Mom had done a lot, and therefore, of course, call it payback, call it whatever. I'll do my part, right? So anytime, money, can buy this and buy that and everything. I mean, no qualm. She doesn't need to ask. I'll just observe. She wants a new TV. She wants this. And like I said, my mom is successful. She has the money, right? But I still, gave her money and buy her stuff. All right. Send her for holiday, like, oh, family who likes to go holiday with her, go pay. All right. So I always behave that way, which I didn't even realize I behaved that way. Yeah. I thought, right?
Yeah.
The thing to do. Also, Mom, although, she's no longer around, also she doesn't have like very in-depth conversation with us.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't. Like I said, she doesn't have the bandwidth. Not that she doesn't want to. All right. So when she had the Alzheimer thing, then so-called my thinking changed. I mean, subconsciously, not consciously.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was more of the effort besides money, more of the time besides money, more of the care. Okay, the care, the energetic care. That's why my sister said, I really cried when he says, I used to love mom and now you love mom with heart. Okay.
There's 4 siblings. Your sister's the oldest, or?
Yeah, elder sister. Okay,
And then
second sister. Okay, my elder sister like 10 years my senior, and then second sister 9 years, and then came me. See, daughter, not very interesting. And the youngest son.
Okay.
So obviously, my mom being Chinese from Hong Kong, very traditional Chinese, Cantonese woman. Then, of course, everything that raises the son, right? Because the son carries a surname. That's a Chinese tradition. Right?
For sure.
So that's very important. And for her, being a traditional lady, right? It's her duty, right? To make sure the son is good because that carries the surname.
For sure. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm sort of like, I would call it neglected. That would be wrong to say. And also because I'm always like independent, I don't give trouble, right? So, whereas my brother gives trouble all the time. He's the underdog, so they're always taken care of.
He can do no wrong because he's the baby. Oh, yes. I'm gonna riff on this with you. Talk back to you because so many things we're learning. Everybody here with Nancy Ho, fascinating conversation. First of all, sorry for the loss of your mom. You told me that, and it's Alzheimer's an ugly thing, and she's, God bless her. There was something that came to mind. Do you know or have you heard of Glenn Campbell? He was an American guitar player and country singer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Nancy, my dad listened to Glenn Campbell and Chet Atkins and some of these things. I play guitar because of my dad's influence that way, but I'm telling you this for a reason. It's a story. My dad named my younger brother. I have 2 brothers, one older, one younger. And Glenn was named Glenn after Glenn Campbell. But Glenn Campbell had Alzheimer's, and they made a documentary on Netflix about it. And I put it out there for people, and you might want to watch it. It's a great show, but it is, if you've never lived with anybody who has Alzheimer's, it's really gripping, but it's hard to watch. But it shows him, he would, as you just described so well, you're so smart, telling us that way you did, he would play still and perform. And they showed some concerts where he got angry because he forgot live the song lyrics, and he lost his temper. And all the people around him were tiptoeing around him, right? And they loved him so much. They let him keep performing to the point where he'd go off stage and he'd realize and have regrets, right? And it was very emotional. It's a really good show, but I just wanted to mention that because it came to mind that I've never had experience firsthand, but the amount of effort you put into looking after mom. Another thing that came to my mind was you said you loved her with money. I wanted to ask you, did you ever see love demonstrated between your parents? Did you see what love looked like? Did they show affection, or was it more just non-emotional? Do you remember?
Okay, like I said, because so little.
Yeah.
From 0 to 3, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a watch, it would be more energetic rather
than, I got you.
I stayed because I was so young then, but surely for some reason my memory is pretty good. I could report stuff right through to 2 years old. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
I don't regret to do that. I don't need to do regression to remember.
Yeah.
Like my dad's funeral is still clear in my head.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And I bring that up because I was thinking about, we're shaped by our parents sometimes, but also when I grew up, my dad left home when I was 12. He was addicted to alcohol, destroyed the whole family. It's in my book and things I've written about. So, but what I didn't realize it was abandonment in one way, but also he was physically and mentally aggressive. And when he drank, he changed and he blacked out after, and he did some things that hurt me and others. I loved him and I forgave him before he passed away. But what I never saw is, even when I think back, I don't recall. If you were to tell me, Tom, draw a picture and describe what it looked like, your mom and dad showing love to each other, I really didn't see it. I never heard "I love you." I didn't see a lot of hugging. I saw a lot of fighting and arguing. And so up until about 25, because of our child brain, that kind of shaped me in like, how do you show love? So I want to just finish that point on this because you taught us something. That when I went into the business world, I climbed the ladder fast and I get promotions and I wanted the big house and the big paycheck. and I did a TED talk on this, and I said I was a success chaser, no, a self-worth chaser, not a success chaser. Or sorry, a success chaser, and what I was really chasing is self-worth. And so that is something I think through your story, many people listening to this will see that sometimes it's if it's not demonstrated in a certain way, we think love looks like this. We think love's performative because your mom gave us skills to drive and go get things done, right? And then your blessed sister comes along and says, well, you were just buying her stuff all the time. It's like, well, yeah, but that's kind of what it is. All right, let's move into Mezzo. It's a great conversation with you. So now we're talking about the sector and sort of that place you created your public work. So you work with with C-suite leaders. This is from what I know about you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who look successful but feel empty. What is the most common hidden struggle they never say out loud? If you can comment on anything at all.
All right. To start with, physical, like getting up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m.
Really?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. A lot of them, that they get out in the middle of the night and it's like they can't go back to sleep. Or, it may not exactly show up as burnout, but then because they need to perform, they have to put on this, strong, they are strong, but then really you have to put up this strong facade, and you can't tell anybody that you're not feeling good because it will sound so ungrateful.
Yes.
Right? You have it or what's the complaint, right? But the void, and most important, they do not feel fulfilled. And but cracks, like in the relationship, I just had someone, very successful, and he actually said to me that, he made so much money last year, and he went like, so what? Angry, frustrated, I'm just unhappy in the sense. Again, it's not like miserable, but then deep down, just like what I went through when I in my 20s, that it's all good, but really, is that it? Is that really all to life?
Yeah.
So this is what they actually experience. Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to put something on the screen here, and again, we'll make it smoother in the final. I'm going to share a screen, and you can just tell us what we're looking at here. Just want to make sure it's this one here. Do you see that there?
Yeah. No, not yet. Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, look at that lady. Look at that lady. So it says, I'll read it out loud so you don't have to. Asia's top life strategist and transformation coach. And everyone, I'm featuring this because I want you to go check out the website. And there's so many parts to it, Nancy. I spent a lot of time on it. But just describe to us the practice. And do you do, like, just tell us what you do, and the type of people you coach, are they all senior leaders? But where do you do your coaching? Is it in a studio? Is it on Zoom, face-to-face? Just anything you want to share.
Sure. I mean, those are in Singapore. I have got my office.
Yeah.
I've got my office. I've got my, so-called my therapy room. I've got my training room and all that. So those that are in Singapore, I would like to see them, face to face. In person will be better. But I also work with those that are not in Singapore, so over Zoom. So what I do, is not just I can't possibly coach them about their business. I mean, it's not about business, but it's like, first, I'm like their sounding board. Something they do not even realize, and I catch it for them. Yeah. All right. I say, hey, wait a minute. You just said this, and what does that mean? And I go very deep in my work. All right. I don't, go on the surface. I go deep. All right. Then I have this North Star vision. I call it North Star vision. That comprises of like friends and family, fitness and health. Yeah. Right. Finance and wealth, impact, legacy, freedom. All of that. The different arms, and in all these different arms, in the center of it is our business or career. What does that mean? That means you must have the clarity, each of these arms, what does it look like for you? What do you really want? All right. So a lot of the time, success is very lopsided to the wealth, all right? The finance and wealth. So, and the relation bit is neglected. the mental well-being is neglected. So we look at all these areas, and your business or your career really must support all these 5 points. Once it's outside, something will give.
Interesting. Yeah. So everybody, we're here with Nancy Ho. We're just talking about her coaching practice. Yeah, I had that down as the next question. Explain your North Star vision framework. What shifts internally before strategy can work externally? This is interesting because I'm visual, Nancy, so I draw pictures to think, as you might have picked up. And so I see a wheel, right, like spokes on a wheel, and then I think, well, one of them's broken. And what's interesting is when I was in my CEO role, this is what I grew up thinking, because my dad was military commanding officer. He was British Army, then Canadian Forces. I was born on a military base. It's another story, halfway in a cab, because they wouldn't let my dad come to the birthing. How crazy. But my dad used to say, pardon my language, but this is how he was. It's a typical commander. I'll kick your ass if you don't get straight A's, go out there and be the best. And so I would learn to be performative. Right. And I always wondered what makes dad happy. I'll do that. But at the same time, when I got into leadership, I started talking to people and hearing things like, my wife walked out on me. These are with my peers. Or last night, my daughter had the flu and we took her to the hospital and I was up all night. And so, but a lot of these people I work with at the high level, they were afraid to show vulnerability, to talk about those things. And personally, for me, I didn't think it was right. I thought it would be weakness to do it because of the way I was shaped. And they say it's lonely at the top. So then you get the mental health thing where I came up with this language, CEO, crack emotionally often. And that's the truth about what I experienced. So let me ask you this. When you work through the North Star vision, this framework, if it was with me, what do you, let's just say I wasn't sleeping, I was having problems in my marriage and like all these things. What would you have to think would have to shift internally for me before externally it would be, I would personally grow?
First, of course, I have to go do deep listening, right? About the issue and so on and so forth. And then I have to hear, what do you really want? I mean, I don't step in and tell you what you should do. I can't. I don't live your life.
I see.
Right. So a lot of people really, however senior they might be, surprise, they actually lack clarity. Because they are so literally consumed with the success, the external success, right? The external success got to look this way. So I have to keep up to it. But yet keeping up with that, and deep down, there's a void. Deep down, I'm not feeling fulfilled. Deep down, whatever, I get this chest tightness. All right.
Yes.
Blood pressure is high, and they have to be on medication, and so on and so forth. And there's the little thing that I like to show off. There's my high blood pressure picture of the monster. I say, look at my pressure, and they go, oh my God, your age? No, keep me not. I say, yeah, okay, that's my selling point. But it's true. I'm always like 28 over 78, something like that. It's like, possible. I say, yeah, okay.
That's remarkable. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Give you an applause.
The deep listening, right? What are their issues? Then I would fish out those issues.
Yeah.
Right. Don't take sides. I'm not going to go because the wife, I'm a woman. Kind of, no, it's like really, so I'm able to have that clarity, see it for them on the aspects that's very factual.
Yes.
Factual, not opinion. Then after that, what do they want? Then I fit into the, framework of the North Star vision.
Yes.
All right. And of course, I have a whole lot of things, and of course, part of it, in fact, big part of it, right? When we have problems as an adult, it comes from childhood.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Then I have to deal with them. All right.
Yeah.
So going back to childhood, not that we can change history or I can change history for them, but more so where I'm able to neutralize the emotions.
And I bet you for some of them, I'm just speculating, for some of them, they've probably never stopped and slowed down to think about the impact of childhood or had anybody build the trust with them where they could say, this is a safe space for me to share that? How do you build trust with your clients? Because I know that people, I'm not going to reveal anything to you about myself until you build trust. How do you do that? Is it the listening part, do you think?
I mean, first and foremost, they come to me.
Okay.
I'm not doing like some cold call. Hello, Tom. Would you like some therapy or coaching?
Look at my blood pressure, Tom. You can be like me.
Yeah,
you need me.
Exactly, right? They sort me out, right? Whether through LinkedIn and all my different visibility ways of reaching out. So first they came to me, meaning like they already want help.
Oh, that's good. That's good, because I know a lot of people, and I was one who was arrogant when I was 30, I turned CEO. My manager role was at 20, and first CEO role was 30. It was in a Canadian company, part of an American big company. And they offered me a coach and I didn't want it. And I said, there's nothing wrong with me, because I saw coaching as like, I didn't realize you need to be with people to grow. Right. So it's interesting. Just sitting in the back there, you see under the TV screen in my studio, there's a brain. I call him Mr. or Mrs. Brain. It's a replica of a real brain, because I had my brain injury in 2018. I fell on my head, and I couldn't walk, talk. I mean, I had to recover. I was doing a ride to raise funds for cancer research, and I had a shower before a team dinner, and I fell backwards, cracked the tub with my head, and Nancy, life stopped. And so I had to go through neuroplasticity and brain therapy. I'm 100% now. I just have some vision limitation, convergence, divergence. And what I learned is that the oxytocin is a chemical my brain releases. It's called the love chemical, or joy. Right. And you know what's really cool is oxytocin. I learned it comes out when you feel comfortable or you have something in common with people. So I just want to honor you. I see you like, I looked at your story. You're a woman who created business, you had some success, you had failure. So I go like, man, I could sit and talk to her, because you're kind of a peer. Like, you kind of got your brokenness, then you got your resilience, and then I can see you as a former executive. So way to go with all the people you're helping. Let me ask you this. When a leader says, I've made it, but I'm not happy, what is the first recalibration step? I think you already told that. So if somebody says, I'm not happy, but I've got all this money and things, I think what you do is you just start by listening and open up your framework. Or is there anything else?
Yeah, no, the first question I ask, what are you unhappy about?
Okay, I'm going to play with you. Right? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't. I wake up and I feel sad, and I can't figure it out. I got a nice car and a home and a big paycheck. I got 2 kids and my wife, but I'm not sure.
Pretend. You don't have to be right. Pretend you know. Make up something.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Make up something. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I just came out of a board meeting. My board meeting is in the boards in the U.S. And this is true, that part. My board was in Baltimore, Maryland. And I run the Canadian part of the company. And I felt disrespect. And I just felt, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't feel appreciated.
All right, let's take on that disrespect.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, it's interesting because I always go fully prepared, and I was reporting out on progress for the company, and these are very high profile financial people, and I was running a financial company, which is true. And I just, I've been working my butt off. I've been working till midnight. This trip I got in, and I literally got up at 3 a.m. in the hotel to go to the meeting, which would have been like 7 a.m. my time, 3 a.m. my time. And they didn't care. They didn't say, how are you doing? They just like, give me the facts. And then the one guy raises his voice and he's challenging me. And when he raised his voice, there was something in me that felt uncomfortable. I couldn't figure it out. Maybe that was a little bit of hearing my dad's raising his voice when I was younger, but I never felt the way I did coming out of that board meeting. I was just like, I don't know why, but I don't want to be the head of I don't want this anymore.
Okay. What it sounds to me, I may be wrong. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, that you did not feel appreciated. You did not feel acknowledged.
Yeah.
You did not feel like you count. It's as if you are another number.
I think so.
Whatever. Does it kind of
Yes.
like resonate with you? All
Yes,
right.
you know, if some like my personality is if somebody says I appreciate you, Tom, I'm not needy. I tell my wife this, but if you say you appreciate me for in some way, I'll go to the end of the earth for you, and now I'm
Yeah.
good for a while. And I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. There wasn't any. We appreciate you coming down here, the long trip.
Correct.
How are you
And
doing,
that is,
Tom?
yeah,
Yeah.
that is the first, perhaps your love language.
It is actually
Words
the
of
first.
appreciation.
That's actually that is how I communicate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
words of appreciation. All right. So of course we can go deeper than that. Besides, why is that? What's affirmation? What's
Yeah.
affirmation? Love
For sure.
language. So
Yeah.
why is that? We have to
Yeah.
go into the inner work, deeper
Yeah.
work, that perhaps there was a lack, there was an absence,
Yes.
and hence you are, call it hungry for it, craving for it, a need for it. Not that you are needy, but deep down, all right, you need that. And usually that comes from a child, as a child, your inner
For sure.
child, not
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pause the role play there. Everybody with Nancy Ho. That's incredible. You are talented. You have a lot of skill. First of all, I felt comfortable. Obviously, we've been together a little bit here, but I really like the approach. And you found the pain point, and you dug and dug. And there's some truth to that story. The answer to that story is, yeah, my dad left home when I was 12. I was driven and militaristic in my leadership style. I wasn't rude or anything, but it was like it was my way or the highway. My agenda was the goals. I didn't even stop to say to people some mornings, hey, how are you doing today? I appreciate them. You know what it was? I found out later in life, it was simply that it was just a missing appreciation from my own dad. I didn't know that he was cared and respected. But through my doctorate degree, which I just finished last week, my thesis was about unfolding identity in a complex world. That's actually part of the title, Nancy. I found out just through my research that my great-grandfather was an indentured laborer. He was a slave. And he was put on a ship from India where he was born, sent to the Fiji Islands to work on plantations, but tricked and sent on a 5-year slavery contract, treated horribly. But then he came through it, and he opened a candy store, supported 20 families, became a philanthropist, and was regarded highly in Fiji. My mom and dad were born there. So what I learned is there was generational trauma that followed my great-grandfather to my dad's dad, who was an alcoholic and passed away early, to my dad. And as soon as I found that missing, they say you make neural adaptations, you make things up. This is the last part of my story that you would have probably gotten out of me. There was missing information about who I was. And so when I finally filled that in, I went, now I understand why dad was a drinker, because this trauma of how he was treated probably followed him into my life. And you know what, Nancy? I prayed about it and I forgave my dad, and life changed. And I had to do it through coaching and through working with people like you. So fantastic. Thank you for this role play. Let's go into the last piece here, which is the macro. Are you having fun? Because I am.
Oh, yeah. Good.
And everybody, I want you to come back and go to the website, nancyho.com, and look her up and seek her out, because she definitely... nancyho.co. Okay, we'll put it in the show notes. Perfect. And because she definitely is somebody you'll want to talk to. Macro, so the global context. Provocative question. Are we living in an era where success metrics are outdated? And what global narratives are quietly harming ambitious professionals?
Mm-hmm. So earlier we talked about, performance.
Yeah.
Now it's not about performance. It's your presence. Show up in your presence, not show up with performance.
Wow.
That's authentic. Being authentic.
Yeah.
Being real, being genuine. That's the presence. Like right now, both of us show up without presence. We are not, hungry or worried about the outcome, what people think of us, and what if we don't do this, and that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
But we show up as us.
Wow. And so everyone, if you connect the dots here, we were looking at global. So we just did that role play, and I'm connecting this back, which is really obvious to me, that you built a trust for me. So we're being authentic. And if you had showed up and you were just like, I'm just telling you, if you were somebody who sat there, know it all, I was this, I had this book, I had this, I would be like, I'd be going like, I don't really like you too much. And I wouldn't get to that level with you. And so I think that's exactly one of the things in society. A lot of leaders feel they have to be the driven business first, not what we're doing and develop relationship. Well,
Correct.
here's something else for you. How does social media, status culture, and constant comparison, how does that distort our internal compass? Because everywhere you look, we're being compared to everybody else.
No, it's just like everything else, right? It's how do
Yeah.
you use it, right?
Yeah.
That is good. How do you use it? Social media is just a platform, all right? So I often tell people don't read so hard into it, but of course, all right, is how you use it, right? So if people are use it to like flaunt, show up,
like here's my blood pressure.
yeah, that one is positive show up. You see, that's actually encouragement. You know that.
Oh
really?
yes.
You can do that. Yeah, but I don't show that in my social media. Show that in person with the person. All right. So, any case, so wait, that like went off. So I'll use this one. So anyhow, so
you're still radiating light. You don't need light.
Need to be right. Do things
Perfect.
right. Okay. So anyhow, so where was I just now?
Social media and
social media.
Yeah, you said you depends on how you use it.
How you use it. Okay. So for example, I don't post anything personal.
Yes.
Everything that I post is all about impact messages that I want to send out to people. Because one of the things, like, of course, not everybody can afford me. I'm not saying this as a show off, but it's a fact, right? I also work with people that from mid managers to senior, so not only senior. So it's my way for my impact that you know, $0 because the content that I so-called put it out there, there are always messages they can learn. To some tens of dollars, which is my book, right? That they can pick it up, or even the ebook that costs almost nothing, so they can actually learn from there and make some changes. All right.
Yes.
So again, it's how you use it.
Yeah.
I don't see that social media will like impact us negatively. Of course,
I agree.
If a person is always so worried about how people see them,
yes,
then of course they worry about how the social media will look at them.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And first of all, we honor the fact that you use social media for good. I was thinking that one of the things I learned is if you go in service to others, in other words, I feel fulfilled when I'm doing something for others. So I do volunteer work and things like that. But when I'm doing this podcast, my whole reason is to bring you and amplify your story and message. So to me, that's in service, right? And I feel good doing it. But they say, and I learned this as a kid, actually, because I was picked on as a kid, because color of my skin, I was picked on. I was a little bit overweight. So I went through that era where people were cruel. And I remember just going through that. And I learned that some people tear other people down because they feel insecure in some of themselves. And some people on social media, it's such an easy thing to post nasty things because you're hiding behind your phone. You wouldn't, if I met you in person, I wouldn't do the things that I might do on social media. I wouldn't be able to do that because I'm a coward if I was like that. So the last thing about social media I really don't like, and I'm trying to be an advocate for it in the work I do a lot of public speaking and things and teaching youth, is we have to learn algorithms about it. And I just want to tell you that when you know this, but for the audience, when you go and click on something on a social feed like YouTube says, oh, Tom likes that, I'm going to send him more. And there's so much garbage out there that you just get bombarded and you lose reality, Nancy. So I think teaching moment, come back and listen to what Nancy said, everyone, that use it for good, use it for the right purpose. And don't let your dopamine rush get addicted to it. That's my language. Let's do one more question here, Maka, then we'll shift to honoring you with a couple of things. If the next generation is watching us redefine success in real time here, what responsibility do today's leaders carry, do you think?
As leaders that we carry.
What responsibility do today's leaders who are going to the future, what do you think they carry?
Teach them values.
Yeah.
Teach them values is very important. My mom did that. My mom did taught to me values. Although, like I said, she's feisty and she may be fierce and all that, but she taught me values. And because of values, right, I grew up well.
Oh,
So
that's a great. That's a
leadership all the same, teach your values, all right, cultivate the goodness, the
yes.
positive, all right. It's not just the fake positivity, but really the positive. And most important, it's like be very factual, be very real.
I love it.
Yeah.
Be values, everyone values and real. Little fake applause for you there. I love it. And what I like about the values that you say is be authentic and real, delivering it. I hate companies. I shouldn't say hate, but when I go in and I come from an industry where they got value statements on walls, the employees weren't involved in creating it. And I always say to my daughter, if you read that whatever's on the chart and you can't draw a picture of it and then make it come real by your behavior, you don't understand it. Go ask somebody about it. So I really love that last point you taught us there. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and honor you with an award. Did you know you're getting an award today?
Oh, really? Thank you.
And I know you're not a bragging person, so you're not going to brag about it, but let's put some on the screen. So we're going to do that, and then we'll have the last segment, which is one more question, which actually comes from the previous guest to you. So we're going to do that quickly, and then we'll move to wrapping up. So let me put this camera on. This is my studio action camera. You can see me waving there. Let me just position it a little bit this way. Okay. So have you heard of challenge coins?
A challenge what? Sorry, again?
Challenge coin. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. So next time I ask you, you'll say, yeah, Tom Dutta told me.
Okay. All right.
So this comes with it, and I'm going to read it so you understand that the history of challenge coins. Now, see, challenge coins surfaced during the World War I era. The practice of carrying a coin designed specifically for a unit was popular with the Army Special Forces. Carrying the coin at all times and presenting it when challenged to prove affiliation with the unit resulted in a number of consequences for those who could not produce their coin. One of the most popular required the coinless soldier to buy a round of drinks, and that practice continues today. So these are all over the world. First responders. My dad was in Alcoholics Anonymous. They had their own version of a coin. You can find coins for communities. So when I started the show, I said I'm going to bring the 1% of the world through it. And it's hard to get on my show. Yeah, I have to be vetted to tell a story like you do. So I created this award, and they're now carried in 19 countries by our Quiet Warriors. So they're hand painted and crafted. So that's the emblem of the show. But the back is the hero's journey narrative, the journey you've gone on, taking something in your life, turning it into good, and going and teaching the world. So congratulations. Welcome to the Quiet Warrior community.
Thank you.
So this will come to you, and I will ask offline in an email if you take a photo with it and send it to me somewhere meaningful. That'd be really cool. Let me take that off the screen. All right. So congratulations. And the last question is, the segment is called the Warrior's Torch. We've been doing this for a while. The last guest was asked to leave a question for you. They don't know who you are. They don't know your gender. And so they're going to watch it. And here's the question. So Nancy, what have you changed your mind about in the last year?
What have I changed my mind? That's a tough question because I don't usually change my mind. No, I usually don't, because I'm very consistent about what I want. I would then put it this way. I am emotionally vested with people. So I'm not saying that I don't care anymore, but I guess that part about changing mind is like, it's good to be emotionally vested, but I don't have to overdo it.
I see.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't have to because sometimes I get so emotionally vested,
Oh,
even
I see. Yeah.
Yesterday I had a family dinner, right? My siblings came over, like they couldn't even finish all that I've cooked for them. 3/4 through, I said, no, we can't eat anymore. So it's the laugh,
Yeah.
Very emotionally invested. So I said, okay, good. Love is great, but don't have to overdo it. So
Yeah.
that would be yes.
Good. Well, it's a teaching moment, everybody. Come back and listen to that answer. And by the way, how do you prevent, they call it in counseling and therapy, secondary trauma. So you have clients sometimes giving you all this negativity and tough stuff. What do you do for self-care when you walk away from your coaching appointment to take care of yourself? Because unconsciously, we know through mental health that a lot of negativity can build up inside us. Do you have any things you do for to keep yourself healthy for mental health?
Well, first and foremost, physical exercise is like 5 times in a week.
Oh, good for you.
Yes, and I continue cultivation. Cultivation is everything. Some coaches like leaders kind of like, I know it all, I'm all good. No, we have to continue to cultivate, like I mentioned, like all those values and my purpose and meaning and
Yes.
all that. I continue to cultivate philosophy. And of course, most important, I have clean up.
Yes.
I have done enough years of therapy, enough years of so I've done my cleanup. So therefore, it doesn't resonate. Like somebody may have like a mother issue, a father issue, whatever issue.
Yes.
I mean, I don't resonate anymore because it's like, I get it, I mean, I relate. Like I said, okay, I can relate, but I don't get that triggered because it's all cleaned up. And I continue with my cultivation, philosophy cultivation, spiritual cultivation.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I'm good.
That's good.
And I said that, that it's not work for me anymore.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's a personal applause from me to you. And I'll add one more thing to your list. You stay single, so you don't have as much stress from. I want to share back with you because I never do this, but here's the way I keep mentally strong, especially after when I had my injury. By the way, you might know if you watch some things on my website, but I sunk into depression pretty quick. And I had suicidal ideation. I talk about it openly because I see a psychiatrist as part of my care team. I'm very much 100% past that, but it made me reflect on life. So there's a few things I do. I pray every morning, so I believe in prayer. I have this thing I do where I'll spend time with people and then I'll go in my kitchen, and I'm a cook. I've watched every cooking show, and I'll go to the market, for example, after this interview, and I'll pick things, fresh produce, from my fishmonger, and then I don't know what I'm going to do, but I make a plate that tells a story about you. And then I take a photo and I put it on my Instagram. So I have an Instagram feed that I'll invite you to where I have story plates, and that creates dopamine. It makes me feel good. The last thing is like you, physical fitness. I've learned definitely at least an hour a day, and that's kept me healthy. So thank you for sharing that. Nancy, as we go to wrap up, last word goes to you. Anything you want to say you haven't told the audience, or tell us where to get a hold of you?
How to get a hold of me? If you go to LinkedIn and just search Nancy Singapore, Nancy Ho Singapore, you can find me easily. Or you go to any of the Instagram and all that, add Life Coach Nancy Ho, or simply just search Nancy Ho Singapore. I will show up. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Anything you want to say to the audience outside of that?
Sure. Life is not meant to be a struggle. Never. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So don't suffer. Whatever it is, don't suffer.
I love it. Wow. That's a bonus. We'll come back and listen to that. But suffering is optional. I love that so much. So everybody, on that note, Nancy, live life with purpose like you see Nancy doing here, but live the life that you deserve and desire. And we'll see you all next week on the Quiet Warrior Show. And thanks again, Nancy. We'll have you back. It's been my honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stand by.
Thank you for listening to the Quiet Warrior Show. Create is a motive-based leadership development firm. www.kreat.ca